Alright, welcome back, fellow nerds, to another round, our second episode. I am Brennan, and with me once again are Smithy and Brenton. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Commander Skeleton. Now, this is a basic structure of how you go into building potentially a new deck, your very first deck, or just general structure basis of how a deck might work for you initially. So, Brenton, obviously you're quite amazing with this topic. How do we feel, or what's your opinion on certain structures going into this?
The command skeleton is a basic rule set in which, if you're having trouble building a new deck, or even with a current deck, you follow a set plan, and it won't give you a deck that just wins every game, but it gives you a deck that actually works. I found for years that if I built a deck and it just stopped working or it wasn't doing what I wanted, I just would struggle for months and I couldn't figure out how to work and I'd give up. And then I found a very simple rule set of the 35, 35, 10, 10, 10 rule set. And it's a really easy way to actually flesh out a deck.
So would you even with the deck you already have that sort of works, would you break it back down to the Commander Skeleton to restart building it, or would you kind of alter what you've already got?
It's not something you use to alter what you've already got if it's already working. It's more or less if a deck isn't working, you're just starting a new deck with a new strategy you haven't done before and you're not sure where you're going with it. It's really good. It makes sure you're doing everything necessary in a proper commander game.
Yep, cool.
There are 5 categories: draw, ramp, removal, lands, and the actual deck strategy.
Yeah, cool. So, building off of those with certain things, my strategy in my decks, I'm as we know, a terrible mill player, quite commonly hated and focused in these games. Hooray. One of my strategies that we would have is the food chain combo. So food chain, as you'll see on the little card, it allows you to exile target creature, netting their mana value +1 of any one color. Using Mist Hollow Griffin allows me to do that non-stop until I have infinite colors of my deck colors or deck identity. Specifically for the Master Transcendent, because it allows me to just go infinite with giving everyone red counters passing turn and dead. What cards would you generally use for strategy or preferable?
So when I look at the Commander Skeleton, I look at more of the interaction, more of the strategy side of things, more than the other sections. So myself personally, I don't use a lot of ramp spells. I use those slots for mana dorks or just fulfilling more land placement. So a lot of my decks, they may be lower on the end of lands. Most decks that I run roughly equate to about 24 to 25 lands.
Wow.
It is fairly low compared to what most casual decks are, which is fine, but I make up for that in the fact that I run cards that synergize with each other. I run cards that are mana dorks, that tap for mana. I have partaked in the food chain to allow me to mana fix myself if I'm just missing one or two colors. Big spells that I like to use are like Bloom Tender. It's a creature, 1 green, 1 colorless. So I can tap it and add 1 mana of each color of permanent I control. With my most current commander, I have a Derevi. Derevi is white, blue, and green. So with Bloom Tender on field and Derevi, I can tap that to net 3. It allows me to fix mana, allows me to gain mana, and keep me on curve to cast spells or to interact during other people's turns. The other big thing when it comes to the Commander Skeleton that I believe is definitely great when it comes to building newer decks, especially if you're a newer player, having those structured limit. So as Brenton was saying, each structure has its importance. So yes, as I may use only 20 lands or 24 lands, Brenton may use 30 to to make up the difference between the fact that he may not have colors that allow him to run enough mana dorks, because black doesn't really have a lot compared to green and compared to blue. Lands, I use a lot of lands, a lot of shocks, a lot of fetches. I can't use half of my fetches without getting rid of them. There are cards that allow you to change that, like Urbog, Yagomaya, which makes everything a forest, so it allows you to keep your shocks around that a little bit longer, to tap for that green, changing the amount of lands you can control. But the basis of 35, 35, 10, 10, 10 is that you'd have 35 lands. 35 is your overall strategy, and then you focus then on your 10 ramp, 10 removal, whether it's creatures, whether it's spells. It doesn't really have a definitive, you can only have one. Does not matter what you are playing, there is an opportunity for you to have half of each. You could have 5 mana dorks, 5 ramp spells, or you could just have ramp spells, or you just have mana dorks. Either way, that basis is to help you start a deck. Does not mean that in 6 months' time, when this deck is really running really well, or you feel like it's missing something, that you have to keep to those standards.
Yeah. What about yourself, Brenton? Obviously, we know you're a mid-ranger. Not to be mistaken with Power Ranger, but you are a mid-ranger. Sorry.
So the Commander Skeleton, when I'm building a brand new strategy, it just helps me flesh out from the start. I need this, I need this, I need this. It helps deck building quite faster for me. One thing I have taken a note that if I'm playing a deck that I've built in a rush, or even a deck I haven't used in months, I notice, I don't have much interaction, or I'm not drawing a lot of cards. I have a very empty hand. I go back to the drawing board and see if I have enough draw or removal, or even ramp if I'm not given enough ramp. And I have a look and I'm like, wow, I'm under 10. Yeah, that's bad. I need to add more.
Yeah.
I typically don't go under 10 ramp, 10 draw, or 10 removal. Some decks want more of the other, but I will not drop below those numbers. You can drop lower lands. Some people go for way more ramp, and in doing so, they can actually reduce their land count, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the skeleton, the reason why it asks for 35 lands is it just wants to make sure you get your land drops to play your deck. You can take once you've built the deck and you play a few games, the skeleton's just built so you can then edit as you go and play. Most commonly, most people will start taking out lands the first thing they think of.
Yeah.
It's very common, especially with casual players.
Yeah, so obviously with the 35 lands, especially if you're trying to build a landfall deck, the Commander Skeleton is amazing for landfall. You've got those 35 lands that allow the land ETBs to happen from your creatures, your enchantments, artifacts. I don't know if artifacts actually have any landfall.
There are some.
There's a few. There's a few artifacts from the Zendikar Rising set.
Oh yeah, Zendikar, amazing set. So with these, because obviously you guys have seen my deck, my favorite deck. You helped me build it to where it is at the moment, pretty much on the edge of bracket 5.
Yeah.
It's just not there. But I run Hermit Druid, which allows you to it's exile, isn't it?
No,
reveal. Sorry,
reveal and put into the graveyard.
Yeah, so reveal and put into the graveyard until you hit a basic land. Now I was running about, I want to say about 15 basic lands. So now I've got your Zagoth Triome, stuff like that to still be able to fetch for your lands, because Zagoth Triome states that it is a swamp, island, and forest.
It's a tri-land.
Yeah, it's a tri-land, so triome. So it allows you to still fetch for those basic land types on that card, which is amazing. So that way with Hermit Druid going for a Thassa's Oracle win, it allows me to basically mill my entire deck, put down Thassa's Oracle, unless I've got someone like Smithy on the table who, just completely counterspells my Thassa's.
No. I don't waste the counterspelling of Thassa's.
Yeah.
I'll just Angel Grace you in split second, allowing you not to win this turn and me not to go below 1 life.
Yes. But that's basically how I've done it now. So I've now dropped to about 26 lands in my deck. But obviously
God,
starting
you're
off...
greedy.
Wow! Yes.
I don't like dropping below 30. But
Really?
there's some decks I've had to, but I really don't. I don't like missing land drops.
Yeah, I'm at about 26 now, and with the mana dorks, the creatures like Elvish Mystic, Lanois Elves, all pretty crucial mana dorks. We've got your rocks. So recently just got my first Lotus Petal. Yeah, Mystery Booster. Woo!
Damn, really?
Yeah,
Dude,
Mystery
that's
Booster.
mad.
That's really lucky.
Yeah,
I was
so-
going to say, Sonic just came out with their new one as well.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Jewel.
Yeah, oh, that jewel. Ridiculous. The new one coming out in Spider-Man. The Soul Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting.
I forgot
Disgusting
about
card.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that little basis is probably the perfect moment or setup for us to start our deck building.
So you were saying that you like to run a set amount of draw spells in a lot of your decks. Which ones would you recommend for either a beginning player or someone who's looking to build a new deck without spending a lot of money?
Oh, there's plenty. There's I know there's a few green enchantments if people are looking to go big with creatures. That say whenever you play a creature that enters with power 4 or greater, draw a card. That's really good. You get your card back for every creature you play, basically.
Like Guardian Project?
Guardian Project's really good because it checks if the creature's different, and being commander, they're usually all different.
Limited format, yeah.
Yeah, so that's also a very good one. Ristic Study is a famous one.
Yep.
No, not Influx.
Would you say
Esper Sentinel is a good one in white.
Would you say the Great Henge?
Great Henge definitely helps a lot. I mean, green needs all the draw power it can get.
Absolutely.
Especially when it has to do with creatures.
Yeah.
Green is the creature.
Beast Whisperer is a good one.
Beast Whisperer is insane.
What about our lovely fish?
Mystic Remora.
Mystic Remora.
Mystic Remora, the most
You can't go
hated fish.
wrong. You can't go wrong
No,
with
Ristic,
Mystic.
Ristic Study is more headed than
Yeah.
Fish. Come on.
Yeah.
No, Fish, Mystic Remora is great. It's a really great card, especially with most blue decks. If you can drop it like turn 2 or 3 and keep your mana up that way.
Yeah, no one's paying for it.
No. And it'll draw you a majority of cards over a few turns.
Yeah.
Like, I personally like to use cards like Archivist or Orgma, where someone tutors or someone searches their library, whether it be ramping, whether it be you actually tutoring for a specific card. I draw a card and I gain a life. I'm not doing anything, and it's passively giving me advantage. Are you doing something of your own?
There is one thing I do want to mention though. A lot of people think draw is putting a card in your hand. So like 1 for 1.
Mm.
Usually you want to go up in cards in hand. So
Yeah.
1 card should technically give you 2 or more cards back.
Yeah.
Really good draw mechanics are ones that stay on the field and keep drawing your cards.
Like ones like the One Ring?
Yeah, the One Ring is insane.
Stupidly
Busted.
good card. Yeah.
So busted. It also. I also want to make point. I've had a lot of people come to me saying, I mean, tutors are technically draw, right? They're a 1 for 1. Tutors can be anything in your deck.
Yeah. Depending on the tutor, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's a 1 for 1. It doesn't make you go up in cards.
No.
You're just trading a card for another card. It's not a draw spell.
There is there's a black card, I believe it's 2 generic 1 black, something prophecy. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life.
I'm not too familiar with the name.
Read the bones.
Potentially.
You lose 2 life, draw 2 cards, scry 2, draw 2 cards.
Potentially that one, but it's similar. And then I think it's also possibly poison counters. Someone gets poison counters.
Not off the
The
top of my head,
blue
I'm not
spell
sure.
that you're talking about, where each player gets a poison counter, you draw a card.
Yes.
I mean, that one I wouldn't consider a draw spell because
No,
it's more of a cantrip.
Yeah.
You're
You're
trading 1 card for 1.
Yeah.
It's not really going to
Very
give
much
you
like
card
reprieve.
advantage.
Yeah.
reprieve is also the same way.
Yeah, it's not going to give you card advantage. It's good because it replaces itself, but I would not treat it as card draw.
I believe one of the best I wouldn't say it's card draw, but it does run along the same line as Necropotence.
Oh, so
It's a
awesome.
fantastic card in black. If you run any black decks and you're looking to have that ability to draw mass cards, if you've got a Reliquary Tower or if you've got a Thought Vessel allowing you to have maximum hand size, being able to pay that early 10 life after you swamp Dark Writ into Necropotence to draw half your deck, to possibly pull out a win turn 2, turn 3, fantastic.
Yep.
However, if
You're
you
just
don't
the
have
dirty
those
player
cards,
for saying that.
well, you don't have cards that give you no maximum hand size, you can be hindered a lot because anything you do discard will go to exile, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of things that bring stuff back from exile. There is a few, but there isn't a lot.
What? So we're talking about Necropotence, right? Would you consider Bolas Citadel along those same lines? Because
Well, Citadel is card draw because what it is, it's allowing you to play stuff like gain resources from the top of your deck.
So it's
The only
essentially
time it
paying
fails
off,
is
but-
when you hit a land.
Yeah.
Like it
And then
allows
you
you
draw
to play, see more cards in your deck, and you can play multiple cards.
Well, that's
I
where
would consider that draw.
that's where cards
A
come
draw
into
effect.
effect. Where like Sensei's Divining Top, it's a 1 card list. You can pay 1 into it. You can look at the top 3, and you can rearrange it in any order, or you can tap Sensei's and draw the top card. I think in that circumstance, Sensei's is also a very good card,
Yeah.
allowing you to gain that head of advantage, knowing what's coming up. Same with Silver Library, very much the same way in green. Yes, you do have to lose a bit of life for it, but life is a resource. If it means you get card advantage, and if it means that you can possibly pull an answer for someone's win on the next turn, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely for the color black. Like players who play that are just ridiculous with sacking life to either draw or play because it's just a quick way for them to get out, quickly win.
If you look at pay 10 life, look at 10% of your deck. That's what
Yeah.
it means.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What here is sacking, Braids, a Risen Nightmare.
Mm.
Oh, what's that? You're not going to sack something? That's okay. I will draw a card. Give me advantage.
Yeah. So Braids is an amazing little draw engine.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people either waste their removal on, or if they don't, they are stuck in a position where they either lose something of their board state, or you get value. Either way, you're winning in that circumstance. I believe it's 2 black, 2 colors.
Yeah.
Or 2 black, 3 colors. I'm not
2
too
black,
sure.
1.
2 black and 1.
Yeah, it's a 3 draw.
So you go. There you go.
Even cheaper. better.
That's you can almost do the same thing as same amount of mana that you would for a Necropotence. You can get a Braids or Risen Nightmare. It's a blocker. It draws you cards, and there's no real downside to it. It's fantastic.
It also basically clears their board if they don't want you to draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like obviously, drawing more cards gets you the cards you need to win.
Yeah.
It's quite simple. It's unless you're me who needs your deck in your graveyard, but drawing more cards is 100% a better option than just drawing 1 a turn, and that's it. It's not going to get you anywhere.
What would you recommend for ramp? I see you play a lot of cards, as you were saying before. If you have less than 10 ramp, you kind of feel like you're not quite doing enough in that category. What would you recommend for ramp spells?
So I'm a fan of mana dorks. A lot of lists these days do not run mana dorks.
Me too. Would you say that with the mana dorks that you and I both prefer, that we both come across the issue that a lot of board wipes can be a bit of a hindrance early game?
Like, board wipes isn't really that much of a problem in Commander unless you have a playgroup that's full of them. The big problem card that a lot of people are scared of is Orcish Bowmasters. But
Good card.
it's a good card, but I don't really see that much appeal, so I still love my Mana Dorks.
Yeah.
Outside that, I'll look to Mana Rocks.
Yep.
Mana Rocks are really good, especially for decks that don't have access to green.
Absolutely. I'm a
Pretty
big
much
fan
a
of
necessity.
Mana. Yeah.
I mean, Soul Ring is usually a dedicated one
Yeah.
in your ramp column straight
Yeah,
up.
that's just 100% a staple. Most decks don't exclude a Soul Ring, just purely because of 1-drop for 2, like colorless mana.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's probably what's the other one? Fellar Stone. I like it, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a staple.
That's a 3-drop, correct?
2-drop, and it adds 1 of any mana that your opponent has.
For land.
Yeah.
That's for okay. So you're the one
So
that you
land
pay
like-
1 into and sacrifice it to draw a card. Which one's that one? That's
The 3 mana, 1 mana,
Yeah.
and draw a card.
Yeah.
Command Sphere?
That's Command Sphere? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't particularly run a lot of those cards. I mainly stick with the higher end kind of cards, such as like Mana Vault, Chromatic Gore.
Yeah.
I do run Soul Ring, don't get me wrong. I run like Chrome Mox, Mox Diamond.
Your
Soon
pedal.
I'm looking to run like Mox Opal, just small value pieces that are 0-drops that don't cost me mana, putting me ahead of the curve.
Like, one problem that I find people finding when they're looking at ramp, especially for ramping with lands, they look at, I've got a card that adds lands to my hand. You're not actually progressing in mana. You need to be able to put multiple lands out or produce multiple mana through other effects. Rituals are really good at getting instant ramp right then and there.
Yeah.
Really good for explosive turns. Great for spell sling decks.
That's why when I look at green ramp spells in particular, I don't look to cultivate due to the fact that it still puts 1 into your hand. Yeah, it may line you up for the next turn. Sure, if you're playing in a slow casual game, that's perfectly fine. But I look at cards like Skystrike Lane, where you go for 2 forests and put them to the battlefield.
Yeah.
I go for cards like Harrow, where you sacrifice a forest, but you still go for another 2 forests. These cards allow you to not only go for shots and duels, they're not limiting you to basics, and it's putting you ahead later on by 2 or sometimes even 1, depending on what your circumstance is. And you're not having to worry about, if you have full hand at the time, discarding those lands, wasting that opportunity to be able to play it.
Okay, for removal, what do you guys consider good removal for starting off a deck?
Starting off.
I think good removal pieces in casual, I believe is like cards like Path to Exile, Swords of Plowshare, Generous Gift. I know some of these cards in casual do help your opponent by giving them life or giving them a land or giving them a blocker, but at the end of the day, you're still looking to remove bigger pieces. And if they sometimes get something out of it, so be it. You can't always have something that's going to net positive. I think cards that like Lightning Bolt and
I mean, even Lightning Bolt still uses a card from your hand.
Yeah, like you're still
wasting using resources to play.
Yeah, I still feel like they're balanced. They're very easy to come by. A lot of precons still have Generous Gift and Swords and Heart.
Yeah.
Very easy to get a hold of. What about yourself?
So one of my favorite removal spells, and it's actually quite cheap. We did speak about it in the first episode. Fumigate.
Oh yeah, Board Wipes. Yeah,
Yes.
1 life for each creature destroyed.
Yeah, that definitely classifies as removal.
Yeah, so it's a 2 generic, 2 white, destroy all creatures on the field and gain 1 life for each creature destroyed that way. You're netting the life, clearing the board. Yes, it's clearing yours, but it depends on your playstyle. Are you going for that life gain win? Or are you going for just complete destruction of everything? Another one is not land tax. What's the one that blows up land? Armageddon. Just
Armageddon out of here.
Whoa. You turn around Armageddon so loosely, it's not very professional.
So a certain person we know that plays a science deck, absolutely loves his Armageddon spell.
I think a good one is also Toxic Deluge. I think Toxic Deluge, as much as it is a board wipe, I think it's one of the better removal pieces due to the fact, and only for the fact, that it neg one counters. Which
Well, it
means
doesn't
that,
even do counters, it's just a passive.
yeah, so any cards that have indestructible, like Avacyn, for example, or Blightsteel,
I'm
like,
definitely paying that much life to kill it.
absolutely.
Rather that than death.
That thing is terrifying if all stuff has indestructible. So I think Toxic Deluge in the category of removal has a good place. They are going to value, which is insane, but they are a good card. 1 black, 2 colorless, you pay life. Again, like I said before, life is a resource, and if it means you survive a little bit longer with your board state, or it's like a possible combo later on, and they're preventing that by having these effects. I know there's cards that say your creature, if this creature's on the field, like Platinum Angel, you can't lose the game. Having small effects where it just removes that creature with a bit of life instead of mana resource, I think is a good card.
Yeah, another one I really like. I think it's quite expensive at the moment, but it is amazing. Deadly Relic. Your commander is out.
Yeah,
cast it for
if you
free,
really
exile.
want your commander on the battlefield at all times,
Yeah.
it's a free spell.
Yeah, so it allows you to play it for free if you have your commander out, and you exile type of creature.
I love how you guys are thinking so small, because everything you've read...
I said Stumigate. That's everything.
No, it's
I
not.
was gonna say farewell, dude. Come
No,
on.
like, the farewell is everything.
Yeah.
No, you guys are just talking creature removal. Removal means you can interact with pretty much any permanent on the field. It doesn't have to just be creatures.
Like
How-
within.
Counter spells count as removal. Countering is, that's why they're so powerful, because usually you can hit multiple types of cards.
Yes,
My favorite type of removal isn't countering, but it's definitely like just removing permanents. My favorite removal spells I try and fit in every deck in those colors are Soul Petition, Abrupt Decay, and Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah.
Each of them can hit multiple permanent types. Some can't hit lands, some can.
Yeah.
They do have their drawbacks, like Soul Petition makes it so the player can play the card later on for extra mana from exile.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're saving yourself from dying right then and there, it's worth it. Assassin's Trophy gives your opponent a land to use it, and Abrupt Decay can only hit non-land permanents 3 mana or less. But they're just blanket hit most things.
Yeah.
And I love running each of those on decks.
I think one thing that I'm starting to see a lot more of is Cyclone Grip. As
Yeah.
much as it is one blue, one color to remove one thing, that overload, I'm seeing it absolutely everywhere. Yes, it is a good card. Don't get me wrong. In circumstances where you have a Grand Abolisher on the field and no one can stop you from using it, and you're just doing it to just free yourself a bit of space because someone has a very strong board presence, absolutely I recommend it. But just because it's Cyclonic Rift and it's on the Game Changers list doesn't mean that you should necessarily run it just because you think it's cool.
Disallow's probably a great removal, just because it has that nice stopping of activated abilities. Stuff
Activated
like
and triggered.
that.
Stifle.
Stifle.
And that new one from Final Fantasy as well, one blue. And you can pay the 2 colors.
Or
Sapphire
Sacrifice
Legendary,
Legend.
yeah. And it also
Yes.
counts as a non-creature spell, which is insane value. You've got 3 things that you can interact with.
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
one card.
But it's all like amazing, because, as we've said, we're not talking about it being removal in a sense of it has to affect your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Unsummon, do it on your own.
We haven't seen this cards in a while.
Yeah, so like unsummon, stuff like that, where you bounce back your own creature.
You can use on your opponent or your stuff.
Yeah, so like one of the people at the store, local
Oh, yes.
LGS, they like to bounce back their own creature using stuff like removal.
Yep.
To basically go infinite and just have us hate ourselves. Like
I know that this creature, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great creature for removal. I believe that if you get it out and you're a spell slinging deck, as you said before, DV, fantastic when it comes to spell slinger.
Yeah.
Hullbreak Horror. It is a fantastic creature that kind of sits there. You cast some spells, you bounce things that anyone controls, whether it's you, your opponent, and it does net value in that aspect. And same with, it can also help you win. It's if you make a copy of it, you have 2 of them. For every 1 spell, you can bounce 2 things. You can either generate infinite mana by bouncing your Soul Rings, or you can just remove board states, allowing you to survive it a little bit longer. And like when you cast spells, you can bounce a spell back to someone's hand. You allow yourself to have that opportunity where you can interact and keep a board state and a presence over everyone having that control.
Probably one of the most like stupidly made removal spells, or I find it the most stupidly made, is MBT, Mind Break Trap.
Oh,
Someone absolutely storms things in. There's a million copies. Cool.
Exactly.
Mind Break Trap exiles every single spell that is cast there. Well, any amount of spells.
Yeah.
So you just go, I don't want those spells to hit anymore. So
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say the ultimate removal spell, farewell.
Whoa. That is not the ultimate. I think the best
It hits
OG...
everything but land.
No. I think the best OG removal spell is, sadly, it's banned in Commander. It's Balance. The world needs
that is
balance.
not removal. That's just,
It is fantastic. We'll put it up on the screen for you to have a look at. It is something that is banned in Commander, sadly. If it wasn't, I'd definitely be running it.
They have a legal version you can run.
Speak more, so what is
I'll
this?
tell you later.
So if we're talking about removal, but the thing is, there's also things such as player removal, Angel's Grace. You're still removing yourself.
I wouldn't count that as removal. It's
No,
not.
you wouldn't? I would.
No,
Because you're removing yourself from harm to be able to have that extra turn.
No,
No.
because so Angel's Grace, it doesn't always save you. So if you're swinging at me with your commander, so your commander's a 32, I hit Angel's Grace, and I can't go below 1. I still take 32 commander damage.
And as soon as the turn ends,
so
he loses
I
to
still
commander
lose,
damage.
So it only is a good card in the chance to save yourself if you can do something in their end step.
It's really good when people are trying to do the Thassa's Oracle combo because they usually exile their deck, and after that they've got nothing.
Yes.
I win. No, you don't. Bam.
So I wouldn't count it as removal. It's interaction for sure, but not a removal spell.
No, enough.
So moving into strategy, we want to talk about how we want to build our deck, what it's going to do, what's its purpose of whether Smithy making you not enjoy the game anymore, myself milling myself to basically be synergistic with the graveyard, or Brenton to, I guess, have fun.
Do broken things.
Do broken things. But, you know, with our strategy lot of the 35, the commander is always included in this, alright? So it's, so like with my deck, the Master Transcendent, he's a part of it because synergistic with the graveyard, when someone mills a card, I can tap him, bring back a creature, except it's a 3/3 mutant, but it gains all its abilities still. Then there's also the fact of giving rad counters, but although I am more into the milling side of it, the biggest part for him is obviously going to try and get infinite with him, as we spoke about earlier, or trying to go for that Thassa's combo, etc. Smithy, obviously you play Derevi.
Yeah, so I play a Derevi. Derevi ETB untaps target creature. When it deals combat damage, or when another creature deals combat damage, I untap target opponent. My premise of the deck is to gain positive mana. I look for cards like Thrasios, for Emil the Blessed, and for cards that I can sink that excess mana into to gain profit. I like to get to a point where the deck will require 4 to 5 cards to synergize for me to gain or win. It is not a quick, it's not a very simple deck like the Thassus and the Modern Consultation. That is not a strategy I like to use. My strategy is to gain a position where I feel fulfilled in the role of gaining a board state that works together. I'm not relying on 1 or 2 creatures. Gaining, whether it be the win, whether it be gaining the tap down of everyone's permanents, to have that kind of control. I believe that it's very different to what a lot of people play in their strategy. And I believe Brenton also has like a similar strategy of more having fun. Is that correct?
Yeah, no. Like a recent deck I built, Zulodok. He's a fun one. His main idea is he needs a lot of ramp. So there's more in the ramp department. But for the strategy, he focuses mostly on slowing down the game greatly in the way that you can still play spells. And it usually leads into the big Eldrazi Titans. Basically, with their Annihilator triggers, they also help slow down the game for your opponents by putting them back on resources. That's his whole idea and his shtick.
Kind of sounds like you're moving towards stacks there a little bit, brother.
I don't know. I wouldn't really call it. I would call it stacks.
Yeah, you would.
Now, is this the Zulodog for the Cascade?
Yes. So because you set up get so much mana, you can set up these ways to slow down the game, but then you can play these big mana spells to generate more value and go into bigger spells off that. It's just a big mana deck. It's really fun. Yeah. But it really uses a lot of stacks pieces like Curse Totem. Shut off the activated abilities of all creatures on the field.
Yeah, my mana dogs don't like that, bro.
Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah,
Vexing
amazing.
Bauble.
Vexing Bauble is one of the most annoying artifacts.
It legit won me a game the other day because I was versing 3 blue players and they all looked at me because I played at turn 1. I found out after the game their whole hand with -1 card was filled with free spells and 0-drop artifacts.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, that's
so like all the fierce guy and shit and all that they couldn't cast.
Wow, that's rough.
So with the strategic, like obviously shutting down a player or something, another good card is Collector Oof.
I love that card.
Yeah. Collector Oof is a lovely card, little nice troll looking fella.
Correction, he's an oof.
He's an oof, sorry, he's an oof.
I believe there's like 3 in all of Magic.
Yeah, there's a couple of oofs. I've got 2 of them.
But the only one anyone cares about
is Collector, yeah.
Collector Oof turns off all artifacts. You can't use them. It is a pain in the ass, especially for people like myself and Brenton who like to have artifacts like Soaring, Mana Vault.
But hey, it's great when someone's got a Winter Orb out and you drop a Collector Oof and they're like, oh.
Look, you're not wrong. However, who runs Winter Orb?
Certain someone with a Merfolk deck, we know who.
Well, to be fair, like I like the 4-drop Khan. He is a one-sided.
Oh, Khan the Great Creator.
He's a one-sided Collector Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't affect you whatsoever. No. Turns off artifact abilities for all your opponents.
Yeah.
And he also returns artifacts from exile too, which is fantastic.
I don't think I've used him yet for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of times my chromatic Aura has been removed, has someone's exiled it with an enchantment or a spell, and I've had to try and return it without having access to that. So I'm sitting there digging for tutors, just like, where can I find my Khan to bring it back?
Yeah.
He's good in multiple scenarios, but yes, if coming across like artifact decks like Blue Urza, Lord Artificer?
Artificer,
yeah, where he taps artifacts to net blue. Like, he hits the field, Blue Urza's kind of just like, I guess I'm just relying on tapping these artifacts just to only net blue. Like, you're not really going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good in those aspects. But when it comes to strategy as well, sometimes having a strategy doesn't mean to have the cards you want. doesn't mean to win the game. Your strategy just could be to have fun. It could be just to hang out with the boys or the girls, and just have a good time playing and having that social outlet.
If you want to do tricky stuff like Angel's Grace.
Yeah, like it also allows for decks like the Bumbleflower deck, where it's group hug. You're there to have fun. You're there. Your sole premise of that deck is to help others enjoy the game. It's very much a part of Magic, and I think when they introduced the Bloomsbury decks, like Bumbleflower, it gained that idea of strategy to have fun, gained a bit more momentum, and I think that was really good when it came to Magic, because Magic at this point, strategy wise, is to win, or it's to stop people from winning. I've been through it. My previous decks have all been about my strategy, and only strategy was for me not to win. But at the same time, for you to be absolutely miserable because you can't win. My deck was not built to do anything other than to stack you out, including myself. And I'd sit there and go, well, I can't pay for it, so I can't do anything. Can you do something? No? Oh, cool. This hour-long game of Magic is now a 4-hour game of Magic.
Hooray.
Big key. But I've moved on. I'm now playing Derevi, as I was saying. And that strategy is to feel more fulfilled in the fact that I've done something with more than just 1 or 2 creatures. The fact that I require 4 to 5 to synergize together, to be all on the field at the same time, to pop off or to win or to gain an advantage is something that I very much more enjoy than anything else. I can see you trying to say something when you...
Oh, no, I was agreeing.
Oh,
Listening amazingly.
I believe you find the same thing when it comes to Derevi, as you also partake in playing Derevi.
Yeah, I love generating ETB value into the battlefield effects.
Yeah.
I love running Eternal Witness in the deck as a recursion piece.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's such a... You don't think it's going to be such impactful, but because you do a lot of flickering, you just can keep recurring from the graveyard.
And having Delaney, triggering it twice, just bringing 2 things back and forth is fantastic.
Yeah.
But, so obviously, there's so many strategies we can do in this game. We've got the mill, we've got the stacks. Try to find out what you, as we spoke about last time, try to find out what you have fun with. Because that's where your strategy is going to lead you. That's going to be probably your biggest part of building your deck, is finding out.
You're going to enjoy building it.
Yeah, and as always, if you want to drop a comment or something asking us how to build these, we can give you ideas. Obviously, we won't go into hardcore detail, but we can say maybe try this commander if this is the strategy you want. It's probably the best thing we've got for that is just offering these little bits of advice.
We're happy to help.
Yeah, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
We do have a bit of information on the site Commander Grimoire. If you want to find anything you've heard from today, that is the best page to find.
Yeah, 100%.
It is hosted by Brenton himself. It's a good read. If you're not a big reader, these podcasts, this channel will be on podcast as well, and on Spotify.
YouTube.
If you're on your way to work, feel free to just give us a listen. If you, as Brendan said, got any questions, feel free to ask. If not, have a read. Yes, it may take 5 minutes of your day, but you will learn something new. And if you don't learn something new, you're more reassured about what you do know.
Yep.
And you may be able to help someone else down your local LGS, or you may be able to help someone else you know. It's definitely a good opportunity, and I do recommend it.
Yeah, 100% agree with Smitty. Brenton has written these amazing articles on Commander Grimoire. Even what we're talking about right now, the Commander Skeleton, it's on there, so give it a read. What's it going to hurt? As Smitty said, 5 minutes a day. It's going to help you understand, or again, reassure yourself in what you're doing. But importantly, make sure this deck is going to make you have fun. The last thing we want is feeling miserable while playing our decks.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we will see you next time on Commander Grimoire.
Cheers.
Cheers.